Welcome to the Adventures in Alchemy podcast, where we share tips, techniques, and true stories to support you in using the law of attraction and alchemy to create magic and live the life of your dreams. Here's your host, the founder of DailyAlchemy.com, Michelle Martin Dobbins.
Hi there, it is Michelle Martin Dobbins from DailyAlchemy.com. And if you're listening to this podcast in the end of July, beginning part of August in 2017, I have a special deal going on with a lot of my online classes. They're like a bundle of over 12 classes, and there's going to be a live class too for a very, very low price. It's called the Gold Life Bundle, and you need to be on my mailing list to get that. And the super cool thing is when you sign up for that mailing list, you will get a bunch of freebies. So go to DailyAlchemy.com and click on the freebie link, and you can sign up for the Magical Freebie Vault. You'll get all kinds of fun PDFs and videos and audios there, and you'll get a chance to learn more about the Gold Life Bundle. Also, there is a link in the show notes that you can click to go straight to sign up to get your freebies. So, without further ado, today we're going to talk about the lessons I've learned from 20 extra pounds. And extra pounds is probably not a good way to put it. I have had the experience in the past, 6 or 7 years or so of gaining weight, gaining 20 pounds, losing 20 pounds, gaining 20 pounds, losing 20 pounds. And I've learned a few lessons that I want to share with you that may even resonate with you if you have no pounds to lose, because this works in all areas of our life. So, one disclaimer I want to tell you is that right now I am up on the 20 pounds. I have not lost the 20 pounds, and I've really just made some promises to myself about how I'm going to handle this, because I've learned through my spiritual practice and just through practical knowledge that action without alignment is really hard, and it rarely works long term. I can lose 20 pounds like nobody's business. I can lose 20 pounds in 2 months, pretty darn easy, but I'll gain it back. I have even had the amazing distinction of gaining 20 pounds back on a 10-day vacation. And people have told me, that's not possible. You can't gain it that fast. I'm here to tell you that you can. If you have that belief system that you are 20 extra pounds that you don't want, you will get it back really quickly. So action without alignment is it's hard work. That's one of the reasons why I do the spiritual work that I do, because, when you meditate, when you have a spiritual practice, you get into that flow state where things work really nicely. And most of us have an area in life where we resist the flow state, right? Where we think we have to make it hard. And for me, gaining and losing weight these past several years has been an area where I feel that way. And I have, gotten these brilliant plans on, this diet and that diet will work. And, a lot of times they do. Until I stop the diet, I've gained, met my goal, lost the weight, and then I gain it right back. And it's probably not smart that I have a habit of losing the weight before I'm going on vacation so I can wear all my nice vacation clothes. But then I go on vacation. I'm on vacation, so I'm going to eat whatever I want. And my brain has a belief system that when I do that, I'm going to gain the weight back. And I do, miraculously fast. So, you may not have this situation with weight. You may have it with building up credit card debt, or overdrawing your bank account, or always picking a person to date who is not nice to you, or, getting a job that is not right for you. So it can happen in all areas of life. And usually everybody has a certain area of life that they struggle with. And, for me, weight was never that one until recent years. And I think a lot of that is I kind of bought into these stories that I'm getting to be an older person and it's going to be harder. My metabolism's going to slow down. Because most of my life, I was blessed to have parents who didn't make any judgments on what I ate and provided healthy food and snack food and, variety. And I just followed my own body's intuition on what I should eat. Until I, stopped doing that when I gained a little bit of weight. And I actually think I've probably stopped doing that before I gained a little bit of weight. But, so I realized that, I can work hard and I can lose the weight, but until I change my thought patterns that create the weight gain, it's going to be short-lived. So I've made myself some promises, and I thought I would share a little bit with you in case you're going through this situation in some part of your life. Because we tell ourselves, oh, I'm never going to do that again, right? I'm going to lose the weight and I'm going to not pay out on certain food and gain it back. Or I'm going to watch my account. I'm not going to let it get overdrawn. I'm not going to spend on silly things and build this credit card debt up. Or I'm not going to let someone treat me bad and get in a relationship with someone who's not right for me. I mean, there's so many areas of life that we could tell ourselves that. But the real thing that we have to do is shift our thinking. So for me, my first promise, there are 3 promises, and you can make these to yourself. And I'll be honest with you, part of these promises are about shifting your thought process, because if you don't shift your thought process, then you're not going to keep your promises to yourself, right? So my number 1 promise is I'm not going to abuse my body to lose weight. I know that it doesn't work long term anyway, and it creates, a story that is not good. So I refuse to take painful action that, I'm going to find a way to do it that feels good. And, I would consider that you'd want to do the same thing, whatever your situation is, because if you're doing something painful to make changes in the long term, it doesn't really, feel good. There's different in like the working out pain. There is sometimes a little bit of pain in shifting how we look at things, but long term, if what you're doing is going to be good for you or not. Like if you're dating a guy who's nice, but you have no attraction to because he's nice, that's not going to long-term last. Or if you decide you're going to live off ramen noodles to save money so that you can pay off your bills, treating yourself bad and looking for a good result, it never works long-term. It may work in the minute, but a lot of times the minute you stop, everything's going to come crashing down on you. So that's my first one, is to not do something painful, not do something that feels out of alignment to try to make a change. The second one is to love my body as it is. So for you, if you're not looking at the body situation, it can be loving your finances as it is, loving your relationship as it is, whatever is going on in your life, love it as it is, accept it. It's so much easier to change when you're doing that. If somebody's trying to change you and they're saying, nah, you're going to resist. But if they come from a loving space, it's much, much easier to kind of follow that program. And then the third one is that I'm aligning to having the body size that I prefer and acting as if I'm already that person. I'm already the person who has it. So instead of spending my days telling myself, oh gosh, if I could lose a little bit more weight, if I could lose 20 pounds, I could fit back in these cool jeans, I'm going to tell myself I look awesome. I'm the perfect body size for me. I know some people who've done this and it's worked really well for them as far as just, speaking those positive messages to their body and always believing that they were at their goal weight in every moment and every day, even though technically they weren't. And so that's always been part of alchemy and the law of attraction, is stepping into being that person right now who has what you want, and also letting go of that attachment to it. So, I've been telling myself, what if I never lost this 20 pounds? Would that be such a bad thing? It's not really impacting my health in a negative way that I can see. It's just really a preference for me to weigh a little bit less. And I have a lot of clothes that I like that fit when I weigh a little bit less. But are new clothes such a bad thing? I'm trying to look at this in a way that I'm not necessarily saying, it's okay in certain situations, but, because if you're $10,000 in debt, I know sometimes those are harder things to wrangle around. But what if you looked for the positives in all of those, but also, loving it as it is, but then aligning to having it as you want? Walk through the world as a debt-free person. How would you feel? How would you look? How would you act? What would be true for you if you were debt-free, or if you were your perfect body size, or if you had the relationship of your dreams, and live from that energy now. And that, well, in my experience, that's been very magical for me. It's created magical results in other areas of my life. So I don't know why I've resisted doing this around weight and thought that I had to control it using diet and exercise. And I'm not saying that I won't exercise, or I may modify my eating, but I'm going to start with this because I have learned that, taking action without alignment is it's making life way harder than it needs to be. So I invite you, if you have an area of life where you keep creating the same situation over and over and over again, whether it's losing weight and gaining it back, or, getting back into debt or whatever, take these 3 steps. Make a promise not to abuse yourself to get what you want, because that just doesn't work long term. Love the situation as it is, as best you can. Make a practice of it. Sit there and relish in, the part of you that wants this experience. And number 3 is then to align to having what you prefer. You prefer being debt-free, you prefer being a certain size, you prefer having a certain type of relationship. Align to that. And by align to that, I just mean just to imagine that you already are there and feel what it feels like. Feel the energy of it. And then walk through your day like you are that person. How does a person who is debt-free walk into work in the morning? How does she feel when she sits down to pay her bills? How does she order at a restaurant? And step into that energy and do it as that person. It makes a big difference in how you feel and how you go through life. And in a lot of cases, it makes it so much easier for the energy to shift and for you to get that thing that you prefer. And also, it's very, very much easier to get that thing that you prefer when you don't have to have it. So give it a try. Make yourself those 3 promises in an area where you keep repeating the Groundhog Day loop, as it were, and reliving the same situation over and over, right? It's not going to come back once we learn our lessons. So go out, create a magical day, and let me know if you make some promises to yourself, and if you decide to love things as they are and align with having them the way you want, and what kind of experiences that brings you. You can meet up with me at dailyalchemy.com. Up in the right-hand corner, there are links to all of my little social media accounts, and even a little envelope if you want to shoot me an email. I would love to hear from you. Have a wonderful day. Go out and create some magic. Namaste and big hugs until next time. Would you like some help creating more magic in your life? I've got a ton of freebies and goodies for you. They're all tucked away inside my magical freebie vault. You can get free access, though. You just have to go to www.dailyalchemy.com/magical-freebie-vault. Again, that's dailyalchemy.com/magical-freebie-vault. And when you get there, you can just plug in your name and email and you will get instant access to all kinds of goodies. There are daily and weekly manifesting planners, the How to Shift Your Vibe in 5 Minutes e-kit that has audios and a workbook. There are moon manifesting planners and daily love lists and money trackers and all kinds of goodies right there. I didn't want to make you have to go to a bunch of different pages and sites and wait for certain freebies to come out. So I just took all of my freebies and put them in one place where you could just sign up one time and download any of them that you want at any time that you needed. So you can just head on over to dailyalchemy.com/magical-freebie-vault and download them today. Have a magical day.
Thanks for listening to the Adventures in Alchemy podcast. Connect with me on thedailyalchemy.com or Facebook at facebook.com/Michelle Dobbins, author. Join us next time for even more magical life tips.